Okay, alright. Knight to battle. So you draw girls and orcs are the only males you draw, lol. I wonder why. ... I rarely see the same kind of features on your males except the orcs. Yeah. Okay, alright. Well, you got me. I'll take the bait. Here I was doing this tutorial of how to draw this mech. You know, I'm like, oh, you start with some, you know, black and white, and then lay in some color and some environment. You know, take it to that, like all cool and stuff. But no, now I'm gonna draw a bunch of dudes. Good job. Okay. So there it is. You sort of won. Well, not really. I mean, what's really fun about this whole YouTube thing is I'm having fun with it. You know, it's like it's kind of an organic process, and you gotta sort of embrace the random as it comes. This is lemonade and honey. Well, no, I took water and then lemon juice and just put a little bit of honey, made my own. Anyway, who cares? So yeah, I just drew that. Like, it's like an impulse thing. Like, I wasn't planning on it, but then it's like, you know what, whatever. And then I started drawing, and it's like kind of interesting how when I was in this like little zone, you know, in the zone drawing, like creative things start to happen, and I start to explore different things. So in a way, you know, it was a little fun experience. And so I really have to get to bed soon. Anyway, this shirt, it's like worn out. It was the shirt that they gave us in 2009 for all the starting students at Art Center. I still have it. Yeah. Okay, so I was just listening to Sykra's Speed Sketch 29. I was listening to that at work. Really on point stuff. He was there are a couple of things that he was talking about, and I totally agree. There's this idea where as artists you're trying to get good and trying to get better, and but you sort of hold the validation or the approval of the industry like on the pedestal. Like, you put it up high, like as if it's something that you have to achieve, and in that process you sort of lose. I think you kind of lose yourself as an artist, because you when you make your art about trying to get the approval of someone, it kind of waters it down, because then you start to think about, okay, well, what do they want to see and stuff. And so he was drawing his stuff, and he's like talking about how that art that he's doing is for him, right? And he was talking about starting a Patreon, and go to his Patreon, by the way. And so I think he was saying how, like, the middleman, there's you, the artist, and the company who hires you because you're good at working, or you have appealing work, so they hire you, right? And it's like there's this stigma among artists, like if you in any way whatsoever, if you do art for money, you're kind of a sellout, which is an absurd, preposterous statement, right? But it's kind of is there, and usually it's said by people who don't make money from their art, or they're incapable. I don't know. And so when you do work for a company, you're sort of you're not selling out, but like there's a middleman between the people who like your art and your art, and you, right? And the middleman tends to take most of the money. If there's for example, if you're working on a video game and you design, like a weapon, and in the video game, let's say it's like a mobile game, I don't know, Plants vs. Zombies, something, and you spend, I don't know, a week designing a weapon, and they put it in the game and they sell it in the game, right? Now, they might pay you, I don't know, I'm going to make up a number, this isn't not actually what it is, but let's say they pay you 10 grand, which seems like a lot. You're like, oh, yeah, I designed this little weapon, they gave me 10 grand, how awesome, right? But what you don't know is once they put that on, because of the huge platform that they have, they make literally millions of dollars. Well, yeah. So that's the reality of it. And so the key is to get the platform. And if you can get a platform where your fans are there and you don't have to go through someone else, you can just be like, okay, well, here's my art. If you like it, whether it's through a game, if you know, whatever, or just like a PSD file or like a tutorial or like his Pointy Chins series, it's so much. It makes more sense to just give it directly to fans, and then, you know, they give you the support to keep doing it. It's not selling out. There's no such thing as selling out, right? It's all just a story that people make up. So yeah, it's pretty interesting topic. In terms of Patreon, I mentioned about starting one in like on my second video back when I didn't know how to make YouTube videos. I still don't know how. I'm learning, and I don't know. It's not that I don't want to do it, or that I don't like the idea that the number of how much you make is public. And those of you that are okay with that, that's cool. But for some reason, I'm like, I don't want people to know if I, you know, make money or however much I make. You know, it's like I don't know. That's probably a hurdle that I could just overcome very soon, and just give in and do a Patreon. But I don't know. Maybe I just have commitment issues. But no, I don't, because I've committed to doing YouTube videos and I'm doing those. So I don't know. It's all a dilemma. And so, oh, the drawings, right? I don't know. I got a couple questions for you guys. So in these videos, and there's drawing happening, do you mind that, you know, what I talk about has nothing to do with the drawing? I mean, I guess it doesn't matter, right? It's just, I mean, half of you are just like, have the video minimized and you're just listening, right? And that reminds me of another thing. So, I did the whole art giveaway thing on Instagram, and let's see how many it got. It's absurd. I was like 5 or 6 of you are just gonna do it, and now I think it was like over 100 people that I have to copy and paste their names into the thing. Over 153 comments for that I want this drawing on the Instagram. So cool, that's cool. I guess 1 out of 153 of, well, actually no, more, because they did it on the other posts of the same drawing. So anyway, 1 of you are going, actually no, I forgot. I was going to tell you guys, but I didn't tell you guys. So this one was for the contest, right? And I was like, you know, if you want this drawing, but I figured, like, since so many people did it, I'm gonna throw 2 of them in there. So here's the other drawing. So there's gonna be 2 winners, and if you go to that image and the description says contest closed, that means it's done, which I'm gonna do right now, because okay, edit. Contest closed. And who was the last person to say? Pexibito was the last. Contest closed. Thank you for playing. I should have set a deadline ahead of time, but these are the things you learn when you do all these silly contest stuff. So yeah, if I have time to do another drawing, maybe I'll do like 3 giveaways. Because it's like, if you show that you want it, I'm like, okay, then I'll just give it. It's, you know, whatever. Anyway, that was fun. Thanks for participating. I'll be doing that more often. It's like, they're so easy to do. It's like, you got, but one thing I didn't think about, which shouldn't be a problem, it's just a piece of paper. If you win and you happen to be on the other side of the planet, yeah, I'll spend a couple of, I don't know how much that'll cost, but I'm dedicated to get it to you, so yeah. So yeah, the drawing. Let me take, no, I'm not even looking at it. What happens in the drawing? What is this? Sped it up to 1,000%. Yeah, so I drew a range of faces. I drew my own face in there. Oh, that's totally me. I guess I made my hair shorter in there. But we all have this. I have this several different visions of myself. Like I have a self-conscious vision of myself, so I'm like really overweight, right? Then I have like the narcissistic version of myself. I didn't draw that, but you know, that's like the Zoolander face, like checking myself out in the mirror. But it's like almost a bipolar thing. Then I have like an extreme, more Middle Eastern version of myself, and then like cause I'm part white, so then I have another version which like more white. I don't know. Our brains are weird. We're all self-conscious. But yeah, I mean, being Middle Eastern, we always have these chubby cheeks, and it's just like, it's not fair, but yeah. I have this contest idea, by the way. Okay. Since contests are fun and we all enjoy that, the next contest that I'm holding, and I'm not going to tell you how to win it yet because I'm still working that out, but I'm giving away my entire sketchbook. So it's going to be a sketchbook full of my drawings, and you have a chance to win it. But I'm not going to tell you how to do that just yet because I'm working on it. It'll be fun because it'll give me motivation to fill up the sketchbook, and it'll give you motivation to find out how to win it. Since some of you do want my art, and I tend to just not care about owning my own stuff anyway. So yeah, stay tuned for that. That'll be there will be updates on that. Okay, so what else is happening in the drawing? So I did draw one girl in there. I'm not sure where you're at in the video. I'm just clicking through it, looking at it. So I didn't draw an Asian dude. So I drew white dude. I drew Batman. I drew this. Who was the guy in Gangs of New York? Daniel Day-Lewis kind of looking guy with that mustache. I should have given him a top hat. Oh, there was a dude with the man bun. There's a dude. He looks like he's about to fight. And an elf dude on the top right. And I changed my expression at the end. So let me see if I can come up with some tips if you're trying to do this kind of drawing. So you've probably seen my other video on how to draw the proportion of faces for females, right? So we had that triangle, and then we had the line in the middle, and then another triangle. So all that stuff, it applies here. I'm just not drawing it. So I did draw it for the Daniel Day-Lewis type character with the mustache. I did that triangle first, and blah, blah, blah. But if you do that enough, if you do that proportion practice enough, you start to get an idea of how far the eyes, and the nose, and the mouth should be, right? So it's like okay, my forehead's kind of bigger than that, but this is a third, and a third. These are all equal spaces, right? And then your eyes, all right, so like if here's my eye, that same distance is to the top of the head. You know, my hair is obviously being silly, but it's like that. So once you understand these proportions, and then these proportions within that, you start to get an idea of how to do that from any angle. And then if you look at the eyes and which side is it? The eyes and the nose, if you move those all the way this way, that lines up with your ear. There it is. There's the proof. Like there's, you know, and then once you understand these things, then you could start exaggerating, moving things up and down. Because like I could make my ear that big, right? But it would still work because if you understand the proportion and where it's supposed to go, and you use that as an origin, then you change it around, it would look right? But if you were to try to, you know, exaggerate the ear, but you put it up here, it wouldn't look right. So you kind of have to nail it first. And so, so for the orc stuff, if you go back and watch those, you'll notice that the orcs, I made the noses like really high, right? So if these are the lines, for the orcs, I made the eyes and the nose like really close to each other, and the line for the mouth like way down here, right? And then, you know, so really proportion, you can stylize proportion by just moving those lines up and down, right? And then you start to get a feel for what looks good, like if it's too far or too close. Sometimes it's way too exaggerated, but that's how you learn. You sort of go to the extremes, and then you go to the minimum, and then you get a sweet spot in between, and then once you understand the full range, you could jump to any which one, right? I mean, these are all kind of stylized. I don't know. I realize like I have this habit of simplifying a lot of the shapes to angularity, angular shapes. So yeah, that's something. Is that style? I don't know. It's when I see it myself, I was like, oh, I'm such a lazy person doing that. But I don't know. But if I saw someone else do it, I'm like, oh, that's a pretty cool style. I don't know. Alright, anyway, I should probably just get to bed. But, I forgot the dude's name. Is it okay? Night to Battle. The dude that like started this whole thing because of the accusation that I only draw girls. Thank you for making that comment. So it wasn't for you, it wouldn't have happened. I don't know if you're a girl or a dude, but I don't know. I see the word night and battle, so I assume you're a guy because guys are angry and aggressive, right? And we like to fight or something, according to history, millions of years of evolution or something. I don't know. It was cold earlier, but I put my heat on. Anyway, look, you have a great night. Oh, one more question. So I asked about how you guys feel about irrelevant topics to the drawing, and I have another question. I was looking at my analytics on YouTube, and it shows what countries people are watching from. And I'm like, oh, because I assume that all my views are just my mom refreshing the page a million times, so that I feel like I'm important. But I am curious where I'm really curious. Where are all you from? Because I know that some people are like from France, there's people from the UK, but then there's like random spots like Somalia and stuff that are popping up. I'm like, I didn't know people watched my videos from that place, you know? So where are you from? Are you from Mars, Cambodia, Peru? Haji, he's from Peru. There's this dude helping me make a website. I'll be showing that sometime soon. He's Peruvian. Anyway, thanks for watching. I'm done. All right, click.